Let's start today's webinar, which is going to be about phygital shopping and how can we connect those physical and digital spheres of retail. A little bit about myself. So my name is Patricija and I'm a CRO UX researcher from Scandiweb. Mostly I focus on customer experience strategies, UX audits, and market researches and redesign projects. And I also have a bachelor's degree in business psychology. So in today's agenda, what we will discuss is that what is phygital shopping and how does it actually work? Where do we experience it and how to build phygital experiences and what is the impact on those phygital experiences? And my goals for you today as well is simple understanding of what phygital shopping is, learn about how to apply these e-commerce concepts into your retail business, and get to know other useful tips and tricks that you can use on practice. So let's get into it. What is phygital shopping, you may ask? If we go into the definition, it's basically combining both worlds, which are the physical and digital. So then you have the phygital term, but if we look at those both worlds at the moment, these stores are no longer kind of competitors and their performance is not kind of measured against each other. And because those both channels kind of generate the same sales for the same business, and we can look at those worlds as that they complement each other rather than kind of compete against each other. And if we go deeper into the definition of how to actually make the phygital experience happen, is that there are terms as phygital, omnichannel, and unified. They are closely related, but they are not kind of the same thing. So if we look at the phygital as a concept, it's omnichannel, but omnichannel it's not necessarily phygital. So omnichannel simply refers to having multiple sales channels for your audiences, and those sales channels can be completely separated from each other and would have separate information and customer data, both of them. And the phygital retail is when all of those different channels come together to provide this unified experience for the customer. And how to have the unified, to have a unified commerce is you need a base for it. So to make an phygital experience, you need unified commerce, which brings together all your customer data, your product data, your payment systems, which later then allows you to manage everything from a single source or a platform. And if we compare those both concepts, omnichannel versus unified, we can say that omnichannel is more business oriented. You can create independent and distinct sales channels for different audiences. And you can also limit sales or some products available for specific channels or audiences. And with omnichannel, you have the opportunity to be everywhere your target audience is. Whether unified commerce is more customer oriented, meaning that you have you capture all the customer interactions throughout all the sales channels, and in the end it allows you to create seamless experiences for your customers. So I would say that it's pretty hard to compare those both concepts because they kind of work together. And if we look at the unified commerce, it's basically a more personalized way of doing the omnichannel commerce. And if we look into data, it's interesting that 90% of the customers expect their interactions to be consistent across all sales channels. And it simply tells us that the customers don't want to repeat themselves. So, for example, if I have saw an promo offer on Instagram, I expect this promo offer to be displayed on the web store as well. Or if I have browsed some items in online store, I have saved them in my wish list. And few weeks or days later, I decide to visit the same company's store just in app, and I expect those wish list items to be displayed in the application as well. So this is what means to be consistent across all sales channels, so that the customers don't have to repeat themselves. And the best way actually to understand and look into Phygital Shopping is by actually looking at the real life customer examples and scenarios that companies face and customers face. So I have prepared for you few good scenarios with real images and examples. So let's get into it. So for example, I took on a person, a real buyer persona as an example, and let's meet John, who is a loyal customer. And John visits your store approximately 2 to 3 times a year, both in store and online, or it could be also a case where the customer has only shopped online, but hasn't visited your stores. And if we look at John as a buyer persona, he has multiple scenarios. So beginning with the first, John visits your store at the city center and he likes a pair of sneakers, but he's not quite sure, is it worth buying right away? So what could be the solution? The solution would be to provide some alternative actions next to the product. So for example, we could allow the customers to scan the product barcode or QR code, which is placed next to the product. And by scanning those product barcodes or QR codes, customers could get extended information about the products or product reviews or any other valuable information at that moment, as well as maybe following up with this item later online. Like if John is not ready to buy yet, he will be able to send this product information to his email to check the product later online. So this is what providing alternative actions next to the product means. So extending the information you could give to the customer. The second scenario would be that the John has tried on a t-shirt and he realized he needs the size up. So now he has to go to the store and search for a shop assistant and ask if the product is available in any other stores. So it's quite a journey when you understand that the product is not fitting, but you really, really want it. So the solution would be to have a product availability check in the store. So again, if the customer wants to check products in other locations, you have a possibility to allow the customer to scan those product barcodes and check if this product is available in any other locations where your business operates, as well as see the size availability or the color availability of a particular product. The third scenario is that John is a loyal customer, but he doesn't feel really appreciated. So what could be the improvements or solution? Is to have a cross-channel loyalty program. We have few examples from McDonald's and Nike. So let's say a Nike example is that they have a store loyalty app, And if you are a member of this loyalty, then you are able to unlock some free gifts or other things in the store if you have met some requirements regards the loyalty program. As for the McDonald's, they also have an application which is tailored for these specific, let's say, offers in specific locations, and you can only use them in specific location or so. So these kind of things encourage customers who are used to maybe buy only online to kind of motivate them to go in stores as well. So by providing those kinds of loyalty features. The next scenario would be that John was looking for running shoes, but didn't find the right model at the store. So again, we have a possibility to place, integrate tablets and screens in stores, which could have an information of, let's say, all the products you have or limited products. Let's say your store has limited products, but your online store has much more products. So customers are able to see right away what else you have on the table for them to offer. So these tablets also can work as login options to save items for wish list or to send them later to the customer's email, let's say, for example. And yeah. So, and the scenario number 5 is that John is a huge Nike fan, and he is interested in actually receiving an updates about the newest Nike releases. And the solution could be lead generation for email marketing or for any other communication, is that you can offer customers to scan QR codes, and those QR codes will automatically sign up the customer for specific, let's say, email list or email segment, and you can easily follow up and automate your communication in such cases. And it's also a good way of acquiring new customers who come in store but are not maybe familiar yet with the online possibilities that they could have. The scenario number 6 is that John has to rush to a soccer game but has no time to wait in the queue at the cashiers, and instead of that, John could be self-assisting himself. So what could be the solution is the self-checkout and pickup options. As we can see here from the examples, again, you can allow your customers to buy online and pick up in store without actually having to interact with cashiers. And you could have separated the pickup stations where you only have to confirm your, let's say, order number or your identity to pick up these items. And yeah, and last but not least scenario is that John has decided that he wants to buy new skiing equipment, but it's not sure which product could work best for him at that time. So the solution could be appointment-based shopping. For example, if you are an hairdresser company, or you are an company that could provide an assistance in person, you are able to have those appointment-based shopping experiences that you can allow customers to select specific times they want to contact you. Then they go to the store and someone from your company meets them and helps them to pick out the items or consults them about specific things or features you offer. And the second approach to appointment-based shopping could be that the customers have picked already items while going to the store online, and when they come to the store, all the items they have selected are waiting for them in the locker room, so they don't have to waste or take an extra time to actually collect those things from the store. Again, it's highly dependable on your needs or the customer needs, because a lot of customers enjoy actually browsing items in the store. And again, then there are customers who don't enjoy such experience in store, and they just want everything fast and upfront of them. So these could be also ways to go if you want to have a bigger connection or with your client, in-person connection. Yes, and the last scenario for John would be that he really likes a shoe model he found online, but it's not sure that it's going to match his current style. And John has no time actually to go to stores and for fittings and to make sure that yes, this model is actually good for him. So the solution could be augmented reality, where we implement try before you buy experience, and it actually during the COVID time, it helped to meet the safety guidelines for the for the companies as well, and it ultimately ensures that customers have less doubt and hesitation before buying these products. And the last, it's actually fun, and people spend a lot of time browsing products and trying them on. And you will ask how to create those successful phygital experiences. So first things first, you will need to choose the right tools to make it happen. And if we speak about the technology, you should ensure that you have unified commerce, you have friendly platform that allows you to create those unified commerces. And one of the platforms which provides such possibilities is Magento, and it connects basically with all your customer management system, product management systems, and to make it one single source. And what I can say is that Magento as a platform is highly dependable, and it doesn't limit you in any solutions which you would like to create. And secondly, what you need to do from the business perspective is to successfully launch a phygital experience is that you need to begin with the customer data. So first thing is to have a strong technology, but the second thing is to actually understand what are those points of improvements or areas for the customer to improve. So the goal is to actually understand what the customers value and what are their journeys, because nowadays more than 50% of the customers use multiple devices and platforms at the same time. So it's important to look at the data before we make some decisions regards the phygital experience. So let's say, for example, if your customers prefer speed and flexibility, it's wise to offer them store pickup. If your customer is more of a personal human connection kind of person, then it's wise to offer him appointment-based shopping. But yeah, what will you need to do is to monitor and look at all the data across all the channels, and that could include your website, your social media, your emails, your retargeting, your customer support, and as well as in-store shopping. But again, this is depending on your business, on your channels, and but you should always look overall across for the data across all the channels. And where do we start approaching the phygital commerce? Is that given the examples that I showed previously, we kind of also created a roadmap or an understanding how to start and where to start. And our recommendation is to actually start by step and to see what are the results of those improvements, and to start with minimal viable product and then proceed in stages. And I will explain how it could potentially look. Is that let's say you have the first stage, which is MVP, and you would like to provide customers the availability to see product information just by scanning barcodes, let's say, and following up with them later. So it's kind of easy. It doesn't take any maybe hard technology or time, but it's a good way of starting the phygital experience. The phase one could be after the MVP, that you would like to improve the business operations and make the user experience even smoother. So you can offer self-checkout or store pickup. With this, you will need additional, I would say, unique layout for your business. So it would require some additional programming or that you have everything tailored for your business and for your customers. So there is no, I would say, standard format that works for everyone, but yeah. And the phase two could be that you have implemented, let's say, self-checkout, store pickup, appointments, barcode scanners, and everything else, and you are ready to apply personalization, which could be always which could work more for marketing, and for that you will need most probably native apps on iOS or Android. But again, this is highly depending on your business and your needs, and there are companies that jump right to the phase one and skip the MVP part. Again, but depending on your needs and your resources. And the results of actually going unified is that Scandiweb also worked during the COVID time with clients that operate online and both in stores. And for Sportland, which is multi-brand store, during COVID time, they introduced store pickup to their customers. And the benefits to that was that it reduced the delivery time for the customers, obviously. And also it removed delivery costs for the customer and for the company. And it resulted in that the store pickup now generates more than 10% of total orders, which is a really large amount. And after the store pickup was launched, it increased sales by more than 20%, which was being in the right time, in the right place for the customer. So that's the result. And my main takeaways for you about the phygital shopping is that if you decide to go phygital, always ensure that if you go, your customers will be able to control their shopping journey, meaning that as I said, if I have saved something on the wish list on the website, I expect it to see it on the app as well. So also regards the communication preferences, if I want to be contacted only by email, then I don't want to receive push notifications, let's say, from the app. And as well as browsing history and brand accessibility. So where you are, where the customer is able to find you and where he is able to kind of interact with you. Everything has to be synced. And as I said, nothing is more important than that data-driven approach. And data tells you what are your kind of pain points for the customers and where your focus should lie. So depending on that, you can decide which Phygital feature you would like to use or introduce your clients to. As well as measure these data and interactions, because if you don't do it, it will be impossible to follow up with your customers later. And also update data. 60% of the customer data is outdated within 2 years. So you have to always make sure that these data are updated. And last but not least is that consider your resources, both online and in store, because like if you consider to have even self-checkout, you need to think of what resources it will take in the store. Maybe someone will manage it, someone will approve it. So these are additional resources. And as well as if you decide to go online, like appointment-based shopping, then you will need to have some dedicated person who will actually take care of those appointments. Or if you introduce some new feature online which is synced with the in-store experience, you should always consider additional employee kind of training for those features. And and so I hope someone of you have some questions or thoughts on this presentation. I hope you do. Of course, thank you for joining. Yeah, we can continue with questions, maybe, if you have some. So the second scenario, okay. We can go back to the second scenario. Number 2. So what was the specific question about the second scenario? My favorite Phygital shopping solution would be definitely self-checkout, because I don't want to be dependent on the maybe other person, and I don't want to get in the way of other person. So I feel very comfortable when I can shop by myself, and I have no, let's say, problems doing it. So in the store or online. About the second scenario, is it secure? Yes, it is secure, because it's highly like it's directly connected to your product information, which is stored in your unified ecosystem. So it's not it's only taking information what you already have in your store, let's say backend or database. So it's just searching for the information from your database and giving it back to your customers. So what would you assess that potential impact in the revenue generating from going impact in revenue generation going Phygital from your experience? What are those impacts? Well, firstly, as I said, you need to look into your data to see that where are the areas of improvement at that moment and what could really give a revenue boost for your business. As I said, like during COVID-19 time, it was impossible to go shopping in stores because it wasn't allowed to, or it was really, really limited. So what brands did, they just offered VR or 360 solutions to view those products kind of in real life. Imagine if you're trying to furnish your home and you are not able to go to IKEA because you're not. It's good that you have some kind of software that can provide this specific sofa or chair, and you can place it in your living room. That just gives you some kind of as a customer understanding of, is it worth it to buy or not. So it kind of depending on the solution you are trying to achieve at that particular moment. Regarding the scenario number 2, and is it secure in the store? Well, of course it's secure in the store because the information is already public. So if you go to let's say your store, www.example.com, you will have the same information there. What will the customers read from the barcode? So it's kind of already publicly available. So yeah. So do you consider possible today to escape or avoid Phygital, or is it something that is already so well adopted by customer that it's a must? Again, different cases, because as if we look at, for example, self-checkout, it has been over 5 years before we experience it. Yeah, already some time ago, and I think it's now becoming a new normal that that customers are expecting, that if you have an a store, that you are able to self-assist in some ways. Of course, not every brand is available or able to do it, depending on your scale. Again, if you're a grocery store, you have a lot of people coming in, and with self-checkout you can limit those queues, for example, so that customers don't have to wait in the queues so long. Again, depending on your business needs, but definitely few of the things I listed from the Phygital scenarios are becoming more and more popular. For example, those tablets and product assortments in store, we can see that almost every second store has some kind of digital screen in the store that you can either browse a product catalog or something else. What would you consider to be a success in terms of pickup share in Phygital sales? It's a good question. It's a good question. I think it's depending on companies' ambitions. If you really, really want to push your focus more on store pickup, you can always promote the store pickup more. But again, it's depending on situations that customers might have. For example, if I will buy a bicycle, I will rather pick it up than have the courier delivered to me. As in Sportland's case that we had also created the store pickup, it was because the customers weren't able to, they didn't want to wait so long for the delivery times, because during COVID, those delivery times went like 2 times higher than they usually do. Of course, in such cases, you are losing sales because of third company or courier that is not maybe able to fulfill all the orders at time. Again, that's a market. Where are you operating? What items are you selling? And not everything is meant to be for a pickup. And few things are better to have delivered to your doorstep. For let's say, for example, diapers, diaper subscription, or something that you need regularly and you want it to be delivered. So I wouldn't see a case where you want to go and pick it up. Of course, you can do it, but again, depending on your business model and products you sell. So a lot of questions. Let me filter them all out. Could you imagine a phygital solution being used in grocery stores as well? Combination of physical shops and online stores. Any ideas? Yes, it's actually happening now, and it's happening in almost any grocery store. I know, specifically in Baltics. So we have also a large grocery retailer in Baltics, and they do it at the moment. Like if you have shopped in store, like groceries in store, you have paid for them, and you scan your loyalty card or your bonus card or reward card, and you can see the receipt of your purchase online. So you don't you can follow up on your purchase later, or they give you a suggestion if you want to keep this basket for the next time and just order it online, so you can have the same basket not delivered like to your home, but you just bought it online, not in store. So what they do is they just take your shopping history and giving you recommendations for the future, and it's a customer choice. So whether it's easier for him to then order it later online, or do it going to go to store and maybe pick it up. And those grocery stores as well offer self pickup. You can order groceries online, and they can deliver it to you, or you can go and pick them up by yourself after the work or something. So it's really, really convenient and easy, I think, nowadays. And also to plan your time, and you know that you don't have to depend on only on in-store. So you can also now depend on online in terms of, yep, okay. Okay, yeah, H&M, agree. Presentation, let me just view, maybe there are some other comments. Yeah, Vincent, about usually in companies, retail and online departments are separated. Yes, I agree. Do you think possible to reach great digital experiences by organized as such? You didn't cover the organization, but well, yes, they still do, and I think they will still remain working as separate departments, because well, they are separate departments with separated skill sets and focuses they should work on. But if your overall business strategy is to combine those both worlds with looking at the data, let's say that you see that more and more customers are starting to shop online, specifically with let's say parcel terminal delivery, and then you can make some hypotheses out of this, or ideas. What are the trends or impact? Why are they shopping there or there more? And well, if we look at all those departments, as I said, you should always have an overall strategy to where those departments are moving to. Like, if all departments know to which strategy to follow, I don't see any, I would say, problems in terms of that. it's just to follow single like business strategy in general. Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you for the question, Florencia. Hello from Riga to Argentina. Yeah, about the Scandiweb client, kind of a percentage of turning to this direction is quite becoming quite larger and larger, because clients are understanding that the customers are turning to different sales channels, and it's easier also to combine those sales channels and customer data into one single platform. And yes, I can say as an yes, they are really kind of curious what specific digital feature could work for them. And we are doing researches, of course, from Scandiweb side for each of those companies and brands, and coming with solutions that could work for them. So yes, they are the interest is becoming bigger and bigger, and that is really exciting, because not every brand is able to maybe understand and how it's working. And we are really happy to have those questions and requests. Yes. So Edwin, in considering digital shopping, how can the consumer be protected from fraud or online shopping stores that display certain items but delivers fake products when delivered? Well, from in my experience, I haven't experienced such a case where the customer has bought something online and received a completely different product when delivered. Of course, there might be some retailers which do those kinds of things, but again, it's a matter of your company's I would say ethics, how you approach your customers, and what are your values, and how do you do it in terms of security. And again, this is your ecosystem, and it should always be secure, even before digital experiences. Okay. Mm-hmm. Of course, Vincent, yes, it has to have some kind of transformation, because it's a huge step for companies who decide to go digital. I can't say that it's super easy at first, but once you start doing it, companies really do see the value and the need maybe of those experiences. And again, consumers are expecting us to have all the information about them in a single source, or they don't expect us to have a single source, but they expect us to be informed. So we would definitely want to avoid such situations in digital experience, where I message to a company in Messenger, and someone responds to me, and again I message to a company email with a similar question, and I get completely different answers or so. So all those, let's say, also customer support channels should be synced together, and no matter which member of your company contacts the customer. He's well aware of the situation, even though it was coming from a different channel. So it's super, super important to be consistent, and also that so that the customers can depend on us. Yeah, best recommendations and practices. You can, as I said, pioneers in this area are for sure grocery stores. So you can definitely have do some shopping in those grocery stores. Register online and see how the flow works, and check for yourself the journey they provide. Of course, yes, grocery stores as well as regular retail stores. As I mentioned, Sportland is doing it. So what else? Nike is doing it. Sephora is doing it. Sephora is also located in across the Europe. So Sephora has a lot of good things that you can kind of yeah, see from the website and both from the mobile. So they offer really personalized experience. Baby City as well, but they are kind of a larger group, I would say. Yeah, they have not only Baby City, they have Toy City, Pet City, so a larger group. And for them, I think it's as they are a group, it would be really valuable to merge those customers who shop in all those stores, and see what are the behaviors of those customers. Some spending limits, or yeah. Okay, I don't see any more like specific questions. Maybe I have missed something. I hope not. But yeah, if there's no more questions, I was really happy to introduce you all to this concept, and I hope that this doesn't end here, and that we will maybe still be in contact. Maybe some of you will decide to go Phygital already tomorrow, and so feel free to contact me in LinkedIn, or write my email, and I will get back to you. And I welcome you all to join the next webinar, which is going to be on the 10th of August, and hosted by Maris Skuinch, which is Scandiweb Business Development Executive. And he's going to talk about B2B e-commerce and why is it hard and how to actually make it easy. So stay tuned, and thank you once again for joining.